Hello everyone and welcome. Today we have a speed build. Here it is. And we are building again in Oasis Springs. I know I've been building a bit in Oasis Springs lately. I think that's because of the Drifter challenge that I have been doing, of course. So that has required a lot of gameplay initially in Oasis Springs. And this is actually the house that I am rebuilding for my family that lives in Oasis Springs as part of the Drifter challenge. So you can sort of see them standing there in the middle of the lounge, and they're just going to stay there for the whole build because I thought, well, why not? I'm just going to leave them there. They're fine. They're all right. I'll just build around them. Not a problem. So the problem is that I had a house that was too squishy, and I actually had like a unit at the back that I was renting out as well. And you know, it's only a 30 by 20 lot, so like the kitchen and stuff was a shared area, and it was just like it was so squishy. Like couldn't even vacuum the house because there wasn't enough clear space on the floor for me to be able to vacuum. So yeah, I needed to expand, and I wanted to get rid of the whole rental situation anyway. Honestly, it just doesn't make you that much money. Not initially, and not without having like a pretty nice property. And I was just like, I can't be bothered with all the maintenance events and all the drama and stuff. So I was like, nah. I am just going to get rid of the whole rental thing. I want to have a little bit more space for my family, and I am at the point where I do have an heir. So she's now a toddler, and as soon as she gets to young adult, I get to move on to house number 2, which I'm excited about. And yeah, so I'll be leaving this house behind, and the starting characters behind as well. So we had the mama, and she married Kyle Kyleson, which was a mistake. But anyway, good old Kyle Kyleson. So this is a limited pack build. So I'm only using the free packs. So I say free with bunny ears, but the base game, obviously, the holiday stuff, my first pet stuff pack, and the romantic garden stuff pack. So those are the 2 stuff packs that have been free recently. So yeah, it's a free pack build. So I'm only going to be using those packs. I didn't have to limit it, but I kind of felt like doing something a little bit different and mixing it up a little bit, making it a little bit more challenging for myself. So that's what I did. So this should be nice and accessible for people on the gallery to download. And I think it's like quite a neat little house. I did want to try and make it like a little bit more traditional and in the vein of what is already in Oasis Springs as far as pre-made builds, so that it just like looked like it would really fit with the builds that are already there if you needed like a little extra build to go into your Oasis Springs build or world somewhere. So yeah, that was kind of the thing that I was going for. So I was going for a more traditional Oasis Springs sort of desert Spanish revival kind of vibe. And I mean, the interiors is just kind of like doing what I had to do as far as, you know, there's not a lot of options as far as decorations go, but I did keep 2 desert colors, so just using really muted tones of brown, and I actually popped that with hints of green here and there because, yeah, you know, it's nice to have like a little bit of color just to mix it up a little bit. And plus there's like kids in the house. This is very much a family home, so I'm calling this the desert family home for that reason, because there's going to be a master bedroom, and then there'll be a kid's bedroom, and then there'll be a infant bedroom as well. So it's very a very family orientated home. There'll be a couple of little bits and pieces for the kids. There's going to be a pool, you know, and it's not a big lot, so I managed to fit quite a bit in there. And I wasn't initially going to do this on a budget, so I'm being very budget conscious for the first half of this build. And then I got to a certain point and I was starting to run out of money, and I still needed like quite a lot of stuff, and I was just like, I'll stuff it. I'm just going to add more money and keep going because I just didn't want the house to look like real dumb. So so I was just like, thank you, UI cheats. Add the money, ka-ching. So this wasn't on a budget. It was supposed to be on a budget of about 55,000, and that went out the door. Although I didn't spend like heaps over. I think I ended up spending around about 88,000 on it. I think it was around about that. So, yeah, okay, it was a bit over. I almost doubled my budget. I'm at Cheaty Cheaterson. But I wanted the house to look nice. I will actually, when I take this back to gameplay, because this is actually supposed to be for my Drifter challenge. So I shouldn't have been adding more money to it. But anyway, I will take some stuff away. So it goes back down to a value of 55,000. But, you know, I thought, well, I'm going to be putting this up on the gallery, and I don't want it to look naff. And it's not supposed to be a starter home challenge, and I don't know. I got carried away. All right, I just got carried away, and I couldn't help myself, and I just needed to add more things because I wanted it to look pretty. Okay, I just wanted it to look pretty for you guys. So you can sort of see it is starting to really take shape on the outside. We've certainly got all the shape and everything there. I'm just doing like a little bit of landscaping now. So I didn't even go into debug for the landscaping. I could have, and I didn't. I stopped myself. Thank you very much. And I actually paid for all the landscaping. I mean, yes, I cheated money, but that's fine. It's all good. So, yeah, just the basics as you would find in Oasis Springs, basically, with the landscaping, mainly palmy, sort of spiky, cactusy kind of things, which make perfect sense. So doing the windows, so just using that lovely Basegame window, and I actually really love that colour on the Basegame window with the shutters. I think that's a really nice colour for those. Like, I think that's nicer than like the plain white. Anyway, that's just my opinion. So using a closed shutter on the bathroom. So there's going to be one bathroom downstairs, and then it's going to be open plan living for the kitchen, dining and living area. And then upstairs there is another bathroom and another half bathroom. So it's actually 2.5 baths and 3 bedrooms in this little house on this little lot. So I think I did all right as far as space goes. I'm usually pretty good with managing space. It's, yeah, budget is a little bit harder. It was in this case anyway. I just got carried away because I was like, well, this house is actually coming together nicely. I don't want to like have a real budget like stink bed, and yeah, so I was just add money, it'll be fine. So you'll see touches of budget around, and then there'll be other places where it'll be like, you haven't used a budget at all. Because I did actually start in the kitchen with a budget, you know, the basic oven and the basic fridge, and as soon as I decided that stuff it, I'm just going to go wild, I changed them up for the more expensive. I did not put schmapple in, although, okay, I did not put schmapple in, so I didn't go like crazy on the cost, but yeah, I did go a little bit more expensive than the budget side of things. So it did take me a little bit of figuring out the top floor. So you'll see this will actually evolve. So I'm just working out the colors at the moment. So I'm just going to keep it pretty neutral. That will change a little bit as I decorate, but that's quite often the case when I'm decorating. I'll get the furniture in, and then I'll get a better idea as to what color palettes and stuff I want to use. And sort of like the door there, it wasn't working, and then just like, yeah, the whole upstairs except for that one side room just wasn't working for me. So I figured, you know what, if I move the stairs and put them on an angle, then that creates a natural room there, and then I'll get another natural room there, and then that's another natural room there, and kaboom, and that's my floor plan. So that by moving the stairs, I actually got myself like a much better and cohesive flowing floor plan, whereas like my first attempt at it was just like all over the place, and you know, it's just kind of like a winding corridor, and yeah, it didn't make sense. So making that little small change with the stairs downstairs just allowed me to be able to create something much better upstairs as far as the floor plan went. So I was really happy with that. So we're back downstairs right by the family. So you can see Kyle there and my character Kira. Her name's Kira Bird, and that's one of their children on the floor. I can't remember his name at the moment. No, I can't remember. Moses. Oh, hang on. Yeah, it's Moses. Moses Bird. He's not the heir. He's our little spear. He's the spear. And then Air is outside, so she's in a corner somewhere. She got relegated to a corner outside. And what's her name? I think it's Chloe. Oh no, hang on, it's not Chloe. That's from my for rent aspiration challenge. I can't remember. There's too many characters. Like when you're doing a whole lot of different gameplay challenges and that sort of thing, sometimes it can get a little bit confusing with names, particularly if you're someone like me who is not particularly great at names in the first place. So yeah, I get a little bit fearful. So I did fluff around with those chairs. I've currently got the My First Pet stuff pack couches out, because I was stuffing around with them to see where to put them and how they were going to work, and then they were the wrong color basically, so I was like, no, I can't do it. Like the black is actually quite a good color, but it was just like there's nothing else black in the house. It made no sense to have black couches. Like the light couches were too light, they're just the wrong color. So for the house, I think in a different colored house and I could make them work for sure, but just in this house it wasn't working. So I was like, okay, I'm just going base game. And then I had this wall here and I was like, what am I going to do with this wall? I was initially going to put the TV on it, and I was like, because it kind of faces the back, the front door coming in, and I was like, that's just not going to work. So I decided to create like a little base game book nook. So or free pack book nook, as the case may be. So this is all base game stuff that I'm putting up there at the moment. So I'm just getting the books running across the shelf, and I'm using the towel rack just to click and drag them across so that they sit on the shelves without being weird. Like if you're using Control 9, it doesn't sit as nicely as if you're dragging them across, because you might get them hanging in the air. And that is actually from the Romantic stuff pack, that little hanging garden thing. I discovered it and I was like, oh, hang on, because like when I'm doing a book nook, I will quite often use I think it's the Blooming Room curtain, leafy curtain thing hanging around the books, and it looks really super cute. And I was like, well, you know what, that's actually a really cute alternative. So that's what I did. I did struggle with finding the right mat for under the dining table, but eventually found that green one. I was like, oh, a nice dark green. That would actually go really nicely with the dark wood tones. So I was like, ka-ching, that's perfect. I didn't have much in the way of kitchen clutter to work with, because I was looking through all the wall stuff and I was like, not much there. And I didn't have any of the locked stuff available to me because I was playing with the characters and I just couldn't be bothered unlocking them basically. So I just left it and did what I needed to do. This is where I started to cheat. So the money went up and well, I didn't cheat. Well, sort of I cheated. This is where I went, stuff the money, I'm just going to build. I'm going to build freedom. So that's what I did. Oh, I think I've had too much caffeine. Anyway, moving on to the downstairs bathroom. I did want to make sure that I had a bath in at least one of the bathrooms, because there's kids in the house and it is a family home. And honestly, I've been playing like my for rent aspiration on stream, and I didn't, when I built the initial house, I completely forgot I had like kids going in there, and I didn't have a bath. And it was, I mean, yes, you can clean your kids in the sink, and yes, you can clean them up, just like zapping them around in the air, but it's not as good and it's not as clean as cleaning them in a bath. So I much prefer having a bath. If I'm going to have like little kids in the house, I want to have a bath. It makes life a lot easier. Anyway, this is a little hallway area coming together. So just got the shoes, got a hall table, mirror, little bits of clutter, and then I'm just going to put the hanging coat rack on the wall, and then I'm just going to put a shelf there. And once again, just I've been using this little trick a lot on this build, where I've just been using the towel rack just to click and drag things across. But when you've got shelf spaces that only accept small items, and there's about 3 small items to choose from, it gets really limiting as to what you can put on shelves nicely. So doing that little trick gives you a lot more options for putting things on shelves than what you actually have naturally that will clip on, or yeah, snap on, as the case may be. So now we're moving upstairs. So we've got the infant room, So this is where a lot more of the green starts to come into it. So there's touches of green downstairs, but there is definitely a lot more green in the upstairs in the bedroom. And this is where I sort of get to play a little bit more with colour. I've been doing like a lot of builds with muted browns lately, or in like different shades of brown. Partially because I have been doing a lot of desert builds, but like some of my other builds haven't all been in the desert. So, but I've just been really into brown, and I think part of that is from doing my on trend series where I'm looking at different CC that's on trend and building a room with that CC in the next episode. So I've been doing the on trend series and been talking about what's on trend for 2024, and one of the big trends is the earthy tones. And it's actually been quite interesting for me as a creator doing the on trend series, and actually because I have to research and understand what those trends are before I talk to you guys about them, obviously. So I do quite a bit of research around that, and then I'm looking at different CC items, searching through different creators and stuff. It's quite a lot of background work to do that series, but it's been really educational for me as a builder to understand what's on trend and different all the different trends, and then actually putting them into use in my current builds as well, because I've been a lot more conscious of colors and trends, and building a certain way to work to those trends as well. And it's something that I don't always talk about, but like, you know, if I'm designing a kitchen, one of the trends for kitchens, for example, is out of the box storage. So you're looking at more kitchen islands, hutches, shelving, rather than having like the sleek cabinets running across the kitchen. It's changing it up a little bit and choosing different storage options. So that's something that I've thought about when it comes to kitchens, is not necessarily going with the cabinet look, but doing something a little bit different, so a bit more out of the box storage. So it's little things like that where I've sort of been researching trends or reading about different trends and that sort of thing, and it just actually gives you different ideas for when you're building and putting colours together, and the way that you shape some of your rooms and put your furniture, you know, how you put your furniture into your rooms and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's really been an interesting journey for me, and I actually am really enjoying it. It's helping me as a builder, as well as being an interesting research kind of series that I really like. And also getting to play with a little bit of CC is nice too. So it's lovely. There's some really nice CC out there, right? Because I mean, because my computer is not really up to having like a whole lot of CC or a whole lot of mods on it, I've just got to be super careful about what I do. So unfortunately the CC sort of comes in and out as I need it, and I don't have much in the way of mods, but you know, I make do, and it's nice to have that little build with it and just have a play. And one day when I do get a fancy new computer, I'm going to have a whole lot of CC, because I'm like keeping it on a external hard drive at the moment. So I've got like a whole big stash of CC, and it's all nicely organized, and I've even like got pictures of each collection, so I can go and have a look at the pictures and go like, ooh, there's that and that and that, and I really like that. And it's actually been really cool for me to understand some of the CC creators out there and what they do. And so when people are talking about CC and stuff now, I actually have a bit of a better understanding of who they're talking about and their style and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's been really cool. Anyway, I've waffled on, and we have moved on to the kids' bedroom. So yes, this is very green. I was aware of that when I was building it. I sort of put the wallpaper down first, and then I decided on the beds, and then it just sort of like was green. So you can see here I'm now fixing the problem, because I was aware it was all green. I was just getting the stuff in first, and then I was going to fix the walls. I decided that I needed like probably a darker brown, but I didn't want to go too dark for the kids. But yeah, a lot of the kids' furniture, like the wallpaper was just really it's most of the kids' wallpaper is and I was just like struggling to get a nice shade. Like that shade is just like that brown is just so muted and blah. I don't keep it, by the way. This is why I'm bagging it, because I'm not keeping it. I mean, it's not, it's kind of like mushroomy. So it's not like the best of browns. Like, I think you could probably make it work in some rooms, but it just wasn't working for me in this instance. It just, yeah, it just too much grey in it. Just felt like a little bit too drab. So I needed to change it up. I'm just sort of getting the rest of the furnishing in at this point. So it's like, right, I'm just going to get the dressing in, and then I can play around with the wallpaper and try and get that right. So just getting little bits and pieces in there. I do need to give it a bit of a play test, so I'll do that before I put it up on the gallery, but it will be available on the gallery if you'd like to download it, particularly if you're a player that has limited packs. This could be good for you. So we have finished the kids' bedroom. You saw me, I went a little bit darker brown there, and I've moved on to the master bedroom. So this is for Kira and Kyle. You know what? That dirty dog Kyle, I caught him. I was busy taking care of the children because in the Drifter Challenge, I can only control my current ear. So I was busy taking care of the kids. And then out of the corner of my eye, I see Kyle, and he's hooking up with someone in our bed, having an affair. And I was just like, you are getting a divorce, buddy. And then he went off to work before I could divorce him. And then I got distracted with something else, and so I haven't divorced him yet, but I plan to, because he was cheating on me with some chick who came by, and then, like, yeah, he was doing the deed in our marriage bed. What a rude man. Anyway, got the armoires in there. Now they can shrink down and still be usable, so there's a little trick for you. You can shrink armoires. That one in particular is the Hive armoire, I believe. I was building with that on stream the other day because that was part of the stream challenge. It was a tiny home, and we had to include a couple of items in there, and that was one. And I managed to work out that we shrink it down, and it can still be usable. Oh, I made up something here. So I used the Immaculate Shelving, and I decided that I wanted to do some books, but then I kind of thought that it was kind of weird how it was floating in midair, the shelf. So I was like, oh, I need something to go underneath it. And then I worked out that I could shrink that down. That's the false fireplace, and I could put that underneath, and it looks like a proper little bookshelf. So there you go. There's a little custom bookshelf for you that I just made up on the spot. It's one of those things, you just try things, and, next thing you know, you've made something new. So I think we're just going to place a rug, and then we are done with the build, so we can take a wee tour. There we are. So let's take a tour of what we did. This is the exterior. So I kept it pretty muted as far as the colours went, very deserty. It was definitely the goal, and I think I achieved that. And I did go column heavy on this one. I just kind of liked them. That was the only reason. And I find in a lot of the Sims builds, the pre-builds and stuff, particularly from the early days, they do go quite heavy on the old columns. I wish there were more options with columns, but I wish there was more options with basically everything in the game. So this is probably not a surprise, but I was really happy. We did pretty well as far as using the space up. So we've got a lovely pool, a little backyard area, got a barbecue, got a little play area for the kids. There is balcony space, so you can hang out on the balcony, indoor outdoor living flow. So I think that is absolutely lovely. But yeah, I mean, for a free pack only build, I think not too shabby. So I've created a little book nook there, and then that's looking out into the hall area over to the kitchen, and there's our lovely little kitchen. There wasn't a lot of clutter to bring into that, but I think it worked okay. There's a depressed baby, and our dining table area, and another look at the book nook and the breakfast nook. Then going upstairs, we have the infant area, the infant room, which is a lot lighter and brighter. And then this is a little accompanying bathroom upstairs. This is a larger bathroom upstairs, and the living room area in the upstairs. And then going through to the kids' room, which looks much better with the darker walls. I don't think it's too dark, but it looks, yeah, way better than the lighter coloured mushroom that just sort of dulled things down a lot. And then we are going through to the master bedroom, I think, in a sec. There we go. There's the master bedroom through there. So we are just about finished our tour. And yes, I know there's foxes on the light shades, but I really like those light shades, and I figured as an adult I would be quite happy to have an animal on my light shades, so these Sims can like it too. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys had fun and enjoyed the build. Catch you in the next one. Bye bye.